Hey guys, I'm Tofu, welcome back to ArcEnCiel, my rainbow themed island, and today I'm feeling a villager hunt. So, I've got 100 tickets on me, let's go to the first island and hunt for a green villager. See you there. So, we're on our first island, and obviously I have said we're looking for green villagers today, so with it being rainbow themed island, I'm looking for just a colourful cast of villagers to take home with me. So, very specifically green ones, we're looking for Ewetopia, Azalea, Drago, or Lily. So I haven't actually taken any of those home before, surprisingly with Lily because she is one of the nicest frogs and normal villagers in general, and there are a few settles that I would happily go with if we get to, close to the 100 ticket mark. This is Derwin, by the way, a blue frog, a blue duck that I've never had before, and actually I kind of would like. He's kind of different, kind of cool in his own way. Would be a nice settle for a blue villager. But anyway, let's move on. As for my settle list, I guess anyone that's remotely green would do. However, I guess my top picks would be Mint, Murphy, Opal, Sasha, or possibly Tad. So I've never had anyone bar Sasha, and I've had Sasha a lot. So yeah, whilst I would, I guess, try and avoid Sasha, if he came up in like 95th ticket, something like that, I would definitely take him home. Someone I won't be taking home is Lionel here, Toilet Boy. Not into him at all. I have had him, unfortunately, on my jungle island of Tanglewood during a species roulette, which was not fun. Anyway, running away. So I'm not too sure when this video will actually come out, but if you have watched Mumsy's recent video, the chill gameplay video she had on Cupid, her couples island, and hopefully you don't notice in my voice, but I am sick currently. Mumsy did mention that we both got sick. She got sick before I did, however, it's definitely been passed on to me, which is unfortunate, but generally it's the opposite of the way it goes, so I tend to get ill and then make her ill. But yeah. Hopefully, like I said, you can't hear it in my voice, but I am a little bit kind of croaky and may have to pop in a lozenge at some point. This is Pango, by the way. She's just hidden behind a tree. Interesting anteater, someone I've never had before, but not someone we're after ultimately, so let's move on. I'm pretty sure it's just a head cold, but it's hit pretty hard. Here we have Jay. Yes, cool. I wasn't sure about his name for a second there, but it's good to have it confirmed. But yeah, it just seems to be a cold. Like, it's mostly the sniffles. I need to blow my nose and sneeze every now and again. And obviously your sinuses are bunged up. All the kind of good stuff that happens with a common cold. Definitely seem to hit me very hard for some reason. Like, usually, or certainly recently, it's not been hitting me hard. Like colds, I get like one day of sniffles and then that's about it. Anyway, this is the absolutely adorable and beyond beautiful Goldie. I love her ever so much, and she was a resident of Tanglewood, my jungle island, and I love her because of that. Definitely one of my favourite normals in the game, but not the absolute favourite. That would obviously go to Lolly. But back onto my cold rambling, I suppose. Yeah, it just seems to be waves that it's hitting me really hard, and I get hit with this absolute wave of tiredness. I don't know if it's helped by the fact that the little one hasn't been having a nap recently, and so yeah, my chance to basically get a quick nap in as well has been squandered. I suppose that's the benefit of having a little kid, and then when they go for naps, if you're not feeling particularly well or you're just tired, you can then take that hour or so to nap yourself. Anyway, this is Ike, and he's a cool looking boy, someone I've never had before, but obviously not a green villager, so we will be leaving him behind. Is someone I would definitely consider for the future though. If not, maybe one of the brown villagers on this very island, because yeah, we could do one of those eventually, so yeah, maybe one to consider. So, Anticipation Mountain, who do we think we'll find? Obviously, let's bust out our ladder. So, I'm sure you may have seen on my YouTube posts and things, but recently, something that happened to me that wasn't me being ill, was I got an email from Nintendo saying that I had violated terms and services regarding their online policies, and then they said it was a New Horizons dream that I had uploaded. So I assume it must have been Ewetopia, just because of the date and how that worked. Just to quickly interrupt myself, this is Static, and he's a pretty cool boy, but not someone we're after. But yeah, in regards to this email, apparently I violated terms and services because I've advertised or promoted something that Nintendo don't approve of, and I have no idea what that means. So the email is really vague, and to be honest it didn't even say which island or dream address it was. The only reason that I know it's Ewetopia, the sheep island, is recently I've obviously uploaded the dream address, so it would make sense time-wise, but one of my subs and a fellow YouTube creator, Rebs Cozy Gaming, actually wanted to do a tour of that island because they absolutely love the sheep villages, and they tried looking for it and they couldn't find the dream address, even though like literally it's only been uploaded like a few days up to that point. Just to interrupt myself, this is Tex, so yeah, someone I'm not into. Let's run away. But yeah, I don't understand what it was that I did to upset the terms and services. The only possible thing that I can think of that might have done it was I did a bulletin board post which I drew a shiny Wooloo. So obviously it's a Pokemon and not Animal Crossing related. And then I had a message underneath mentioning the fact that did you find all the loose sheep? Which obviously doesn't really relate to anything, it's not really advertising. So there's that, maybe the fact that it was a Pokemon and not Animal Crossing related, but I feel that's very unlikely. There's Dell, by the way, the battleship alligator, and no thank you, not today. The only other thing that I think it could be is the particular design codes that I've used, because there was a very detailed set of oranges, like it's been taken from a picture, and maybe that was taken from an advertisement that I don't know about, but I find that very vague because it's just a picture of oranges on a table. Here we have the lovely Marina, someone very cute, very kawaii, but we're not taking today. It's a shame because I do want her. I've never had any of the octopus, or octopi I should say, and she is adorable. Someone I would absolutely love to have, but not today. We're not destined for that right now. Mumsy did actually bring up to me that it could be my passport comment, which to be honest I'm pretty sure was very nondescript, but there is a possibility, I guess. I don't remember what I put as it, but you know, like I said, I think it's pretty nondescript, so I don't think it would have, but then I don't have any other ideas, so who actually knows? That was Bam, by the way. He's hidden behind the bamboo now. Pretty cool blue deer boy, but not someone we're going to be taking home today. The annoying thing is that if I think I've then covered my bases and like basically got rid of the thing that violates the terms and services, if I then update the dream address, I don't know if that then brings it back online or if it's still just ultimately blocked. And then I have mentioned this in a comment to a couple of people regarding that post. I also don't know that if I then like update it and it does go back live, if I haven't then managed to sort out the thing that violates the terms and services, does that mean Nintendo are then just going to block it again and that's another strike on my Nintendo Online account? Because obviously that would suck. This is Biff, by the way, and he doesn't suck. He's pretty cool in his own way. Obviously a resident of Jailtown, my crime island, and so I'm pretty fond of him for that reason. But yeah, I just don't get it, and I guess unfortunately for a lot of people, they just won't be able to visit Ewetopia via a dream for the foreseeable future until I can work out what's going on. The only reason that I've even got a confirmation as to which island it was because, like I said, Red wanted to try and do a tour of the island and couldn't find the dream address. However, anyone that is interested, me and Reb obviously both live in the UK, and we had a bank holiday coming up, so I've already dated my video with the whole Mumsy chill gameplay thing, but we had some free time. I opened a gate up for them, and so they've managed to do a tour, and I believe they're going to be putting it up as a video on their channel, so when that does come out I'll make sure to put a link, and yeah, be sure to go check it out. This is Jacques, by the way, someone I'm not particularly interested in, and I'm going to run away because of that. Hopefully my voice isn't wavering too much, because it feels like I'm just having to constantly down the energy drink that I've got, and I might have to pop a lozenge into my mouth, unfortunately. This is Kurt, so big tough bear guy. Obviously he's got the bandage on his head, so I always wonder what he did. Did he get into a fight? Did he have an accident? But there's a couple of villagers like that. I'm pretty sure, is it Cobb, the scientist looking green pig boy, also has one on the back of his head. So yeah, did they just get into a fight with each other, or are they all just really clumsy? So the reason I wanted to do a villager hunt on this island was kind of ease myself back into ArcEnCiel, because I've been focusing on Ewetopia just because I was getting close to finishing, and that generally gives me a lot of motivation and kind of excites me. Just to interrupt, this is Phil, so someone we're not particularly interested in. We did actually have him briefly on Rainbow Island, but anyway, moving on. Yeah, I just wanted to ease myself back into ArcEnCiel because I've not really focused on the rainbow themed island for a little while. I also feel like I've been struggling on this island just because I really don't know what to do as far as island builds. Like, I don't think it helps with the fact that there is no necessary cohesive theme. It's meant to be just colourful sections of the island to fit the colourful villagers I've got. So obviously a red section for red villager, who is Rudy, like pink for Paolo, the pink elephant we've got, obviously green, blue, orange, etc, etc. And so, yeah, there is no real, like, connecting theme. It would just be whatever works for that particular section. That's Glory, by the way. She is a very cute snooty duck, I believe. I could be wrong about the personality, but yeah, obviously running away because she's not green. So I'm kind of using this video as a bit of a buffer. So I've got this video, my Ewetopia video, which I'm not sure when it's going to come out. It might come out before this. If it does, I guess thank you to anyone that did watch it. And I've also got a trivia video in the works, and that's very close to being completed. And just to interrupt myself, this is Samson. He's a pretty cool jock mouse dude. But yeah, I am really struggling with a particular build on this island, and I shouldn't really be struggling. I've literally done an entrance build and that's it, so I've pretty much got a blank canvas. So between this video and the Ewetopia video, I'm going to be trying to do everything I can to get a build done and just be happy with it. If I can't manage, I might throw out the idea that I just change the theme so it's more, like I said, cohesive, and it would still be very colourful. I would still want the colourful villagers and I guess various colourful sections, but there would be an overall theme. That was Quinn, by the way, someone we've had on Tanglewood, a jungle island, and I think she's absolutely cool as hell. But back onto what I was saying, I guess I would then go with either a kid core or maybe a tropical core. I just feel like potentially giving it a overall theme would then give me a point of attack, and yeah, if I'm struggling, I could then look up things on, you know, Instagram, Pinterest, etc, for inspiration. Or I've just got kind of, like I said, a point of attack, something I can actually go for if it's kid core or tropical, and hopefully that would make it a little bit easier. However, that's only going to come to pass if, like I said, during the quote-unquote buffer period, while this video in Ewetopia goes up, if I can't build something, and I guess you'll know about it because I'll then put a poll out regarding which theme I should go for. That was Queenie, by the way, someone I'm not interested in. Purple Ostrich, never had him before, and yeah, that's not happening anytime soon, unfortunately for them. As silly a thing as it is, I'm hoping that because Ewetopia is now finished, and I guess my main focus is going to be ArcEnCiel, that will give me a little bit more motivation and a little bit more drive to get things done, and hopefully I can find inspiration just through that, honestly. This is Carrie, just, that's wrong, this is Callie, just to interrupt myself. Sorry about that. But yeah, Ewetopia is still about. I plan to keep it kind of as a treasure island, so that's where I've got my Nook Mile tickets, I've got the money, I've got all the recipes and the various furniture catalogued and things, so I'm going to be using that to basically fuel and help build ArcEnCiel. And I guess to a certain extent it's going to be fun just kind of focusing specifically on one island and not spreading it between two. This is the lovely Renee, someone we've had on Jailtown, our crime island obviously. Kind of like Biff. In fact, they were the main source of drama, or one of the main sources, where Biff and Renee were a thing on that island, and then Bitty, who is Biff's mother in my headcanon, was talking smack about Renee. Renee ran off and told her big brother Spike. Spike came onto the island. Him and Biff had a massive fight, and Biff then, losing said fight, had to leave the island disgraced. That was good times. So I do want to do a new island at some point soon, but yeah, I would like to just add a little bit of focus on this island for the time being. Like I said, hopefully that'll kick into gear my motivation and get some ideas flowing. This is the very adorable looking Bettina. Again, someone I've never had before, but would consider for a future island. As for future islands, I'm not sure what the theme would be. I'm thinking something kind of very lore driven. So maybe an apocalyptic type island, or like maybe Lovecraftian, something like that. They sound like very adult themes compared to this very cutesy game. Where, you know, just having like an apocalyptic island, so like zombie apocalypse or like nuclear apocalypse, something like that. Or then Lovecraftian horror. I thought it'd be a little bit different. But yeah, I will obviously throw the idea out to you guys. And if you think either of those would work, or if you've got a different theme in mind, maybe throw them in the comments and let me know, because I'm always down for ideas. This is the absolutely handsome Wolfgang, and someone I've never had but would definitely have on a future island. Just like so many of the wolves, they all look good. They're just so well designed. Do we think we're going to find one of our green villagers today though? That is the question. Oh, that's not fair. It's Rosie, someone I was after in my previous villager hunt or two on this island, and I want her so badly. Never had her. In fact, I've only ever seen her like 2 or 3 times, considering that I've been playing the entirety of Animal Crossing for as long as it's been out, so like what, 5 years plus. To only have seen her like that many times, and then during a hunt where I'm determined to get someone green. That's not fair. I'm running away and I'm going to be very upset over it. I will say though, if she comes up in the settle period, even though I'm hunting for someone green, I will take her, because yeah, my willpower's probably not that strong. I like to think that even though I sound disappointed, I was relatively calm and collected, but on the inside I'm screaming and maybe died a little bit inside. The fact that Rosie just turned up. Here we have Pango. I believe that's our first dupe, but I could be wrong. I guess I've been so focused on other things. Sorry, my alarm just went off on my phone for some reason, I'm not sure why. But yeah, let's move on and hopefully we'll get a little bit more lucky. Yeah, I really can't say that I wouldn't take her again if she did, you know, turn up. But we'll see. Anyway, who is the next villager? I'm pretty sure I just saw Whitney. There she is, the absolute gorgeous queen that she is. And again, another villager I would love to have on this island. So, yeah. They're all coming out, unfortunately. Not the coloured villagers I want, though. I want green. Again, if you come up towards the end of my 100 tickets, I could be tempted. But we'll have to see how that goes. I don't know whether this is lucky or unlucky. Okay, someone good that is green, not one of my other dreamies. Okay, not a green villager, but someone I'm not particularly bothered about. It's Sid, the punk elephant. He's pretty cool in his own way. But we do have a red villager in Rudy, who is my absolute fave boy. I love him so much. Obviously, he's kind of the mascot of the channel, and so I will not be giving him up on this island, or pretty much any other island that I ever get him on. So if my counting is correct, we should have about 3 or 4 tickets left before we hit like 30. So I'm probably going to do those, and then I'll go into a quickfire round for about 10 tickets. I'll just go up to the villager, say their name, and then I'll move on if it's not obviously someone we want. Speaking of someone that we don't want, this is Mott. He's fine looking, pretty harmless. Probably one of the better looking lions in my opinion, but obviously someone we're not after, so let's run away. Okay, so I just had to double check. We have 2 more tickets before the quickfire round, and then we have Patty. So, very nice looking cow, someone I've never had, but someone I'm pretty much not considering. Could possibly turn up on a different island, but yeah, certainly not right now, or not for the foreseeable future. So, moving on. Okay, last ticket before the quickfire round. Can we get really lucky, find one of our green villagers? Can we find any villager? Oh, no we don't. It's Sheldon. Okay, so like I said, I'm going to do the next 10 tickets as a quick fire round. I'll probably pop a lozenge into my mouth and hopefully that will help with the little sore throat that I've got going on at the moment. And by the end of it, if we get that far, hopefully I'll sound a little bit more like myself. So, see you on the next island. So first up in the quick fire round we have Ribot. Next up we have Stu, and he comes up far too often. And on Anticipation Mountain we find Octavian the Grumpy Octopus. And another waterfall island and we have Zell. And fifth ticket in we have Vic. Next we have the sassy alligator in Ali. Love this girl. Next up is the very adorable Alice the koala. Another waterfall. Oh, we have Naomi. Let's run away very quickly. Next up we have Deli the monkey. And last of all for the quickfire round we have Renee again. So for you guys it's just another ticket, but for me it's a brand new recording session. So I actually did the previous 40 tickets early in the morning. We are now late in the same day and we have Quinn is our first villager of the new session. I think we saw her previously. I must admit I don't remember who we saw in the previous 40 tickets. The only ones I really remember are Rosie and Whitney because I want both of them for the island. So hopefully with it being later in the day, I don't sound as nasally and full of cold as I did in the morning. Obviously that's between you and future Tofu who edits the video to hear, but yeah, hopefully I don't sound too bad. This is Marina. I'm pretty sure we saw her earlier. She's definitely a very cute octopus which I would love to have, but not this island. Unfortunately, we obviously have our pink villager and we're currently hunting for a green one, so we must away, which is a shame, but yeah, onwards to glory. The good thing about the green villagers I'm hunting for today, even if you include the settlers as well, is I generally don't have the green villagers. Like Sasha is the only one I have had before, so it should be someone new if we do find someone. Here we have the absolutely gorgeous Audie, and I've had her before and I love her so much. I had her on my original Skytree island, which was non-recorded, and I had that island for the longest time. It was like 3 years before I actually deleted it. But yeah, I love this girl. I guess out of the 4 main Dreamies that we're hunting today, I don't know that I've got a true preference or like a true favourite. I guess Lily would make the most sense for the design for the green area on my island that I want to do. But honestly, all of them would work pretty nicely, like Anacotti, Azalea, Drago, or Lily. This is Mott, by the way, just to interrupt myself. I don't know that we've seen him. I think we've definitely seen a couple of lions, but I'm not sure if he was included. Either way, I'm not particularly interested. He's probably one of the better lions, but yeah, not for me. I guess as far as the settles are concerned, my top pick, green villagers wise anyway, would probably be Mint. Murphy would also be pretty cool. Obviously he's just a cranky little guy, isn't he? This is a green character I have no interest in picking up. It's Gruff, and I just think the whole green and then like weird brown hair, sideburns things just makes him look kind of ill, and I'm not into that at all. Obviously I have mentioned that I've seen Rosie and Whitney, and if we got to crunch time, the last 20 or 15 tickets or something, if either of them show up, I will probably take them, even though they're not green. But I desperately want Rosie, I desperately want Whitney, so that would work for me. This is Spike. He was obviously our bodyguard on Jailtown after Biff. He had to go and fight Biff, as I think I mentioned with Renee. I think we saw her, and I mentioned that obviously Biff was talking smack about Renee, so she went and got her big brother Spike here. He went onto the island, fought Biff, Biff lost, and so Biff had to run away, and Spike became the Mafia's bodyguard. And I love those characters because of that lore. It's just such a fun little way to, yeah, build up some relationships with villagers that I wouldn't have previously. It's reasons like that that makes me want to do another story or lore-based island. So that's why I'm thinking the Apocalypse or the Lovecraftian thing. Anyway, this is Gladys, and she's pretty cute. Someone I've never had before, but would consider for a future island. Not necessarily this island, but yeah, definitely in the future. That being said, I think that Blanche is definitely my favourite ostrich out of the lot. She's just really cool, and I love her Japanese theming. So some random bits of news that I happened to hear when I was at work. So whilst on the YouTubes, I noticed there was a patch for Animal Crossing New Horizons. So it's nothing too spectacular. It makes sense as well. It's basically a patch that allows smoother multiplayer functionality between if you're playing, like, someone's got the Switch 1 and someone's got the Switch 2, and so they can just interact with each other easily enough, which, you know, makes sense. But I guess it's interesting because it's the first patch since like mid to late 2022, so that's a long old time, obviously, without any kind of update or patch. And maybe it paves the way for other little patches, like, you know, improved frame rates or just better visuals. And just before I forget, that was Brofina, by the way. So moving on. It certainly will be interesting to see if they do any other little updates or, you know, patches for Animal Crossing New Horizons, especially with the Switch 2 coming out, because, you know, little things like the mouse controls, and so being able to use that on the bulletin board posts instead of having to do the awkward cursor drawing, that might make sense. I can't imagine there would be anything too massive, but yeah, little things like that, little tweaks which will just help kind of make things a little bit easier. This is Aurora, by the way, I never mentioned it, but yeah, she's pretty cute. Very plain penguin, but very nice in her own plain way. Something that I've just thought of literally just now, it'll be interesting to see if someone's playing on the Switch 2 and then playing multiplayer with someone who's on the Switch 1, how the whole game chat feature will happen. Just because you can obviously share, like, your camera and voice, and the person on the Switch 1 won't necessarily be able to do that unless there's going to be a addition with the Switch 1, and I don't know, it's obviously worked out by Nintendo, so they're going to make it work if it is a function. This is Kurlos, by the way, someone we obviously have on Ewetopia, our sheep island, and he's a good boy, like all the sheep, but we must away for now, which is a shame, but yeah, he lives on Sheep Island. And without waffling on too much, because obviously it was just a patch and the rest is mostly speculation or just random thoughts and opinions by myself, I also saw a rumour regarding a Pokemon Direct, or Pokemon Presents I think they call it, and that will be happening in July, I think July the 22nd if memory serves. But yeah, I've just read up now that it is confirmed, which is pretty cool, pretty exciting. Speaking of exciting, this is Tiansheng, and I love this boy. One of the few monkeys I do like, along with Shari. I had him on Tanglewood. He was one of my starters, and I've grown to like him pretty much. I do tend to have a fondness for my starters in this game. I had Shari and Louie on my original island, and they didn't last the entire time, but yeah, I really grew fond of them. See, Tiansheng was on Tanglewood, I had Renee on Skytree, I don't remember the other one, I must admit. I said Skytree, I meant Shimizu, my Japanese themed island, and I already knew I liked Renee because I had her previously. Sprocket was a starter on Crime Island, and I don't mind him. He's still not, like, super great, I must admit, because I'm not too fond of the robots. But yeah, he's probably up there as far as the robots are concerned. And just before I forget, that was Spike again, so we're moving on. I guess other starters that I've had that I'm quite fond of. Dom on Sheep Island, obviously it makes sense. I had Deirdre on Tanglewood, my jungle island, and I already knew I liked her. She was cool, she's cute. As far as this island, our rainbow themed island, I almost said robot themed, that would be weird. But rainbow themed island, we've got Hamlet, who is a cute boy, and I'm really liking him. And then we have Mirror, that I'm kind of not too fussed about, I must admit. She obviously worked very well narrative-wise for Crime Island, like she was the superhero that thought she was cleaning up the town, but wasn't really making an impact, and so she had to run away. But for Rainbow Island, yeah, I can leave her very easily. This is Becky, by the way, a very nice looking chicken, very pleasant purple, but we must away and obviously keep hunting for our green girls or boys. And what started off as Pokemon news turned into a list of which island starters I really like. So sorry about that. I guess regarding the Pokemon Presents, it's going to be very interesting to see what they have to offer for that, really, because obviously I assume it's going to be mostly Pokemon ZA inspired, but yeah, it would be nice to have some new news about various other projects or games, possibly. Like, hopefully they don't fill it up with too much chaff, like Pokemon Sleep and things like that. And Pokemon Cafe, little games that, yeah, I'm sure some people are interested in, but I think most people are there for the main bulk is like going to be the main games. This is Cyrano, by the way, and that butterfly just flew straight through his face, so I'm going to move on before he wizards me away. I just find it really interesting timing that they would announce the fact there's a Pokemon Presents, like, you know, 2 months away from the date they plan to do it, and it's like less than 2 weeks before the Switch 2 actually comes out and is fully released. So maybe they're just trying to ride that hype train as far as the Switch launch, but I don't know. Like I said, you wouldn't want it to get buried between the hype of everything else. Speaking of hype, this is the absolutely adorable June. Never had her before, but yeah, she's adorable. Just look at her. How can you not think this girl is cute? Right, are we going to find someone good? Hopefully. Yes, no, maybe. I haven't seen him yet. It's debatable, I suppose. I believe it's Rory. Let's just have a word and confirm his name. It is indeed Rory. So, he's got a pretty cool backstory. I guess I'm not too big of a fan of the lions. I think Leopold is probably the one I would want the most out of the lions if push came to shove. And that's for the most stupid reason, and yeah, I always call him Parsley, and I've explained it many a time before, but he reminds me of a very, very old childhood cartoon. I find it funny because of really silly things like that. Every now and again on Mumsy, obviously my wife, if she's doing a villager hunt and she comes across Leopold, there's a split second every now and again where she's trying to think of his name, and in my mind I think that she immediately goes to Parsley and has to then completely throw that out and actually scramble as to what his name is. And yeah, I just find it funny when I notice little things like that. This is Boone, and someone I'm definitely not interested in. And let's run away. Put out his fire, and away I go. I've completely lost track as to how many tickets we've used so far. Let's have a quick look. So we've got 42, so we're on 58. And I've just seen someone absolutely adorable. Let's just jump up the waterfall, obviously hop over the river, and say hello to Daisy. Oh, what a good girl. There she is right next to the waterfall, so I'm sure it's going to be very loud. But she's worth it. Look at this adorable girl. I definitely want her on an island at some point. I don't know if she'll necessarily fit on Rainbow Island, or if I certainly do a more adult-themed one, like an Apocalypse or Lovecraftian. I don't think Daisy will necessarily fit there, but she would definitely fit in a island later on. I'll make sure that I get her at some point. Maybe if, you know, Nintendo drop a new game, maybe I can focus on Daisy being one of the villagers in the new game. Wouldn't that be nice? And obviously, I'm so looking forward to when they eventually do announce anything Animal Crossing related to a new game, as I'm sure everyone will be. I'm sure we'll lose our minds. Wow, this angle is terrible. This is Octavian. I think we saw him maybe during the quickfire round, but I don't remember. But even if we didn't, here he is now. Whether you can see him or not is a different story. But he's there. There we go, that's a better angle. Grumpy octopus boy. Would someone I would have considered for this island, but we obviously got Rudy, my boy, and I love Rudy so much, and I'm not giving him up on this island. So yeah, unfortunately Octavian won't be coming on this island. Maybe next one though. Like, he would fit in an Apocalypse or Lovecraftian. And are we going to find someone good? Someone off of our list. Money Rock Island. And we find Samson. I'm going to say hello. Sup, you cute little jock boy. Someone I've never had before. Did I see him before as well? I have no idea. I'm sorry if I have. It's been a long day. And yeah, the whole head cold thing isn't helping with my memory. But yeah, apologies if we have seen him before, but yeah, he's pretty cute. Hopefully by the time this video goes up, I will be just cold free, but we'll have to see. I'm sure that plenty of sleep and rest will help, and then during the day, just cold and flu tablets to make sure that I get through work fine, and yeah, the odd energy drink will, I'm sure, do wonders. This is Fuchsia, very pop colour, very just stylish queen that she is. I do like her. I had her on New Leaf. Never had her on New Horizons. She never really fit into any of the islands I've been doing. She would have worked perfectly for this island, but obviously we've got Paolo, and he was my top pick for the pink villager, and so I'm pretty pleased that I got him. But yeah, always happy to see Fuchsia. She is a diva. Bamboo Island, who are we going to find amongst the bamboo? I don't feel like we've had too many of these islands. I could be completely wrong, but here we have Zucker, the takoyaki octopus boy. Always makes me want to just eat Japanese food. It was good times. Me and Mumsy being in Japan. Just, yeah. I want to go to Japan so much. It's just hard with the little one. There is like a Japanese culture festival that happens certainly every summer, but maybe every winter as well. I don't remember. But in London, it's called Hyper Japan, and it's pretty cool. It's like I said, a Japanese culture festival, and they have various musical acts from Japan. You have all these different Japanese food stalls. You have various kind of arts and craft activities that you can do. It's all pretty cool. This is Boyd. They're not very cool. Certainly not in my opinion anyway. Yeah, the good thing about that whole Hyper Japan thing is that obviously me and Mumsy could go. We have been in the past and it's been pretty cool. We've been able to get various foods and things that we wouldn't get otherwise, but it is pretty much just an excuse to gorge ourselves on Japanese food that, like I said, we wouldn't be able to get otherwise. It's been a little while since we've been to one of them, but I'm pretty sure the last time we went there was a dedicated like Nintendo section, and I'm pretty sure they had a Super Smash Bros. Ultimate tournament going on throughout the day, which is pretty cool. Like, I didn't end up participating, neither did Mumsy, because neither of us really play Smash, but yeah, we just thought it was interesting that it was even there, that Nintendo have, you know, parked a spot on the Japanese Culture Festival. Anyway, this is Bo, and he's a cute boy. I've had him plenty of times on my islands. Definitely one of my favourite deer because of that, but we must have run away from him this time round. So I just had to double check how many tickets I have left, and we've got 6 before we round it up to, I think, 70th ticket. So if we don't find someone by that point, I'm going to do another quickfire round, and yeah, hopefully we'll get a little bit more lucky. Here is Elvis, someone I'm not really interested in. He's a decent enough looking lion. Like, he definitely fits the bill. He certainly looks kingly, especially in those robes. But yeah, someone I'm not really interested in. So here's hoping, obviously, we can find one of our delightful green villagers. We found a few decent villagers in this hunt already. So we've seen, obviously, Audie. Pretty sure we saw Goldie really early on. We have seen Rosie and Whitney. They could turn out to be a bit of a curse, almost. Just because I really want them. And I have kind of bumped them onto the settle list if they show up in the last, like, 20 tickets or so. But yeah, it's really nice to see them, but I would have liked to see them on a different hunt, not when I'm going for green villagers. That was Patty, by the way, and yeah, not interested. It would be nice to take home one of our Dreamies and not have to settle. So the last villager hunt we did for this island, we did have to settle. It was probably the best settle we could have hoped for in Pietro, literally the most rainbow boy there is in this game, and very fitting for Rainbow Island. Anyway, this is a Groucho, and yeah, not someone I'm particularly after. However, the angle makes it look like I'm on fire, which is not cool. Do you guys think we'll actually find one of our Dreamies, or do you think we'll have to settle with someone like, say, Rosie or Whitney? That would still be a win, but, you know, obviously they are on the settle list. Where is the villager? They're not over here. Ah, here she is. It's Monique, obviously the lovely darling that was on Jailtown. She was the mafia boss's girlfriend, Marlo. See, she then came onto the island, and there was Kyle, and he had to run away because Kyle was her ex, and he couldn't bear the thought of her being with another villager. So yeah, he had to run away. If we are going to find one of our lovely 4, then they're going to have to do it pretty quickly before the quickfire round happens. That is not one of the lovely 4, but it is a very nice character. I'm actually going to go say hello. It is Cherry the Bear Cub. Very cute girl. Someone I haven't had before. There are so many I haven't had, considering I've had like quite a few islands now. And there are so many that I would love to have, and this girl is no exception to that. but we must away for now, unfortunately. But yeah, maybe in the future. Kind of like Daisy, if the new game gets announced, then she might get added to that list of villagers I want for the new game. So our last ticket before the quickfire round, are we going to find one of the 4? It doesn't look like it. I'm pretty sure I saw Blair. It certainly looks like it. Hello, Blair. Another cute villager, and again, another character I've never had before. She would work pretty well for the black/grey. What would you class her as? But yeah, she'd work pretty well for this island. I think she looks more of a grey, certainly in the sunshine. But yeah, let me know what you think. But now we're going to move on to our quickfire round. So another quickfire round of 10, and if we haven't found someone by that point, then we'll go into our crunch settle period. So quickfire 2 electric boogaloo. First ticket we have Violet. And villager 2 of our quickfire we have Gwen. Wanted to say Frigga, but it's definitely Gwen. Next up we have the adorable Apple. Next up is the delightful Bruce, and I had him on my very first island in New Horizons. Halfway through, and we have Parsley, or Leopold as he's officially known. Next up we have Crackle, and he is a cute boy. He deserves some more love. Next up we have Graham, and I'm not really interested. We have another delightful pig in Hugh, and what a good boy he is. Definitely will consider it as a settle for a blue villager. Second to last ticket we have Norma, and the last villager of the quick round is Lucky. So that's a shame. Obviously it would have been really cool to find one of our Dreamies, but I guess the last 20 tickets we're going into a proper settle crunch territory. So hopefully we can find someone that's worthy of bringing back for Rainbow Island, but I must admit it's getting pretty late now, so I'm probably going to stop this recording session and go have a nap, as we're well into the 2 in the morning, and just shows the kind of things that me and Mumsy do to get these videos out. But yeah, quick sleep and then I'll come back refreshed, full of optimism, and we're definitely going to find someone for this hunt. Wish me luck.
A few moments later.
And I'm back. I've had my nap, or my full night's sleep, and we're now into the crunch period, or settle territory. So last 20 tickets. So just to go over the list of who we would happily take. Obviously the main 4 we're after is Anacotti, Azalea, Drago or Lily. And then any of the settles would be Mint, Murphy, Opal, Sasha or Tad. Obviously, because we're in the desperation section of the amount of tickets, I will also take the previously seen Whitney or Rosie. They would be dream villagers, honestly, but yeah, not green. I would also take Lyman, just because he's another green villager that I kind of like, but yeah, basically anyone that's green at the moment would do. That was Matilda, by the way, obviously the sassy looking mama kangaroo. She was part of the girl gang on Crime Island, so we must away because obviously she's not green. It would definitely be nice to finish this hunt off with a success. Obviously, like I said last time, I had the nap, or the sleep I should say, so I'm full of optimism. I believe we can do it. Oh, there's Tybalt. He's definitely another one that I really want for this island. Obviously, the yellow colour would be beautiful on my island. Oh, why can't you be green? Ugh. Some people have definitely called me out and said that his name is Tybalt, or it's pronounced Tybalt, and I just prefer Tybalt, honestly. Right, I know it's meant to be based off of the Romeo and Juliet character, but I've never actually read the play or seen the play, and so it's only recently that I found out that it's actually meant to be pronounced Tybalt. I prefer Tybalt because it's just like a portmanteau of the name and the word tiger. And if for some reason anyone's wondering as to what Shakespeare plays I learned while I was in school, just because, you know, they brought it up with the whole Romeo and Juliet thing, I learnt Hamlet and Othello 1 year, and then every other year after that was Macbeth. Only Macbeth. And so, as a result, I don't really like Macbeth. It kind of got a little bit overworked, in my opinion. This is Boone. I'm pretty sure we've seen him before, so we will be leaving him behind. And hopefully we can find someone green as this island, in the next, 17 tickets or so? Random Shakespeare waffle aside, do we think I'm going to find a green villager? Or, to be honest, any out of the 12, including Rosie and Whitney. Clearly not green, but yeah, I will take one in my desperate times. This is Annabelle, very cute anteater. She looks like a pangolin, but yeah, we can't be taking her. It's a shame because she's pretty. I think I mentioned it many a time before, but she reminds me of a sand shrew, and yeah, I really like sand shrews. They're pretty cool Pokemon. But yeah, we must away, so hopefully next time. On the plus side, I did mention that I was full of cold at the start of this villager hunt. I believe that's now dissipating, however I am being hit with pollen, so I'm sneezing and sniffling something chronic because of my hay fever. Anyway, who are we going to have the waterfall? 3, 2, 1. It's Lily! Oh, top pick for the green villager. Oh, I wasn't actually sure I was going to find someone, even though I said I was going to be full of optimism and hope that I was going to find a green villager after my sleep. But we found Lily, the best designed frog in my opinion, the best green villager that we're hunting for, and an absolute cutie. I'm definitely taking her home. We need a change of scenery, you need to move to my island. Oh, absolutely perfect. And she works perfectly for the design I've got in my mind for the green section of my island. So, fantastic. Of course you'll love it, Toadie. Oh, happy ending! Fantastic. And yeah, my cold's slowly going away. My hay fever's kicking my butt, but cold's going away, yeah! And here she is, our newest gorgeous girl in Lily. Oh, so glad to have you on the island, my dear. And with that massive success, guys, I'm going to call today's episode here. So thank you very much for watching if you made it this far into the video. If you enjoyed, please hit like and consider subscribing if you haven't done already. As for my next couple of videos, I've got a trivia video on the way, and hopefully I'll kick my butt into gear as far as a build on this very island. So hopefully I'll see you there. But until the next video, I want to say a massive thank you. Hope to see you in the next time. And of course, have a good one. Cheers, guys.